Hello and welcome back to the FM Lowdown channel here with me, Sam, back on the Sheffield Wednesday save. Today, well, we've got two games lined up for you. One of them is at home to Millwall, who sit in 10th place in the Sky Bet Championship, and the Sheffield derby at Sheffield United, who currently sit third and are chasing a top two finish. So how much we would enjoy pooping on that party. In terms of results, do you remember when I said in the last episode, when we are finding form and we don't have many injuries? Yeah, that was a really big jinx. So if we go and look at the form since the last episode, which is the 3-2 defeat to Blackburn Rovers, yeah, not gone well, is it? We beat Preston away 3-2. Kadamatri, Kabaki and Chalaba with the goals. A lot has happened, so we'll get onto that in a in terms of players moaning at me. We then drew 0 with QPR, and you're thinking, okay, we can continue this form. I then stuck the kids out near enough for this cup game, as many as I could, against Portsmouth, and we lost 4-3. Thinking, oh, that's all right. We'll then play them in the league, and our players will be nice and fresh. We lost 2-1. Dominico off with an own goal, and John Swift with the goal. We then played Birmingham at home and drew 2-2, goals from Jamal Lowe and Emmanuel Dennis in the first half, before Birmingham came back in the second half with 2 goals of their own through Marvin Dukes and Phil Newman. Away to Bristol City, we lost 1-0 and then followed that up with a 2-0 home defeat to Wrexham, 2 goals from Jane Danier, thinking, oh blimey, this relegation battle's back on. But thankfully we went away to Swansea and we won 1-0 to kind of ease them feelings, shall we say, around the club, with Kadamatri getting another goal. As you could probably tell with the team selection, Ernie Weaver's been playing with a lot of games. So has Reece Johnson, who is growing quite nicely now. And the thing is, he's a good player for League 2. Ernie Weaver's a good player for League 2. So we've got 2 League 2 defenders, according to the game, in our back four. So that's probably why we've conceded more goals. Some great news is we're looking like we're attracting interest. Rumours of a takeover are circling, with one or more interested parties believed to be preparing offers. Hopefully that happens, and I hope that it removes our transfer embargo that we have, because signing players through January was virtually impossible. I've managed to annoy near enough the entire squad, so we'll go through the people who are annoyed. Pierce Charles is annoyed that I didn't offer him a contract. I went to offer him a contract, but it said he didn't want to sign a new contract because he was looking to leave at the end of his contract. He then came back to me and said, you broke the promise. So I went to try and offer him a contract again, and it still said the same thing. So he's now up for sale for around 7 million quid, because I can't offer him a new contract because he won't sign it because I've broken all these promises. But I couldn't offer him one in the first place because the game was being idiotic. We did sell one player, which we'll get onto in a minute. Another player that's annoyed was Emmanuel Dennis, because I didn't sign any midfielders. Well, there is none on the free agents list. You can see we've got loads in on trial, but A, none of them want to sign, or B, they want too much money, or C, they're all rubbish, as with the case with the trialists we've got at the moment. Barry Bannan has now been offered a new contract. He wanted obviously 14 grand a week in the last episode. We've got him down to 9 for a 2-year deal rather than a 3, with an option for a third if we want it. So to have someone who is that good on the ball, I think with the way we're going to play next year, I've already got plans in my head if we can get some players to play that way, of how we're going to play and try and get the best out of someone like Barry Bannan. So hopefully that'll be the case. And the only player that left the club, which is now under recruitment, is Rio Shipston. Barely played in the first half of the season. He's gone to Luton Town for around £200,000, I think it was. £250,000. So that's not a big deal to me losing him. One of our youngsters using the under-18s, Yissa Allo, also signed his first professional contract with the club. So today's games, obviously, we've got our first game against, I think it's Millwall, I think I said. So let's get cracking with this, as we have a graphical glitch there. So Charles, who is carrying a knock, but will have to play because the other backup goalkeeper is also injured, which is Barnett. He's injured as well. So in terms of team, Valerie, Ayor for Bernard, Lowe, who hasn't played for a little while, but we need to try and pick up some results again, so he will play. Joe Rules in the middle of the park with Barry Bannan, Jamal Lowe on the right, Dennis on the left, Ingleson in the middle, and the man who's got 13 goals for us this season, Kadamatri, leads the line. Ugbo we couldn't get rid of. Chalaba's up for sale. He's going to be leaving at the end of his contract. We accepted a bid from Cardiff for him, and he turned them down, which wasn't really ideal. So that'll be the team to play Millwall. So let's get into the game. Hopefully we can pick up 3 points to try and make it 2 wins in a row, just to sort of bridge that gap between us and the relegation zone again. Playoffs is gone. It's just about staying in the league for next year. So there'll probably actually be 2 more episodes for season 1, to be honest. You'll probably have one in mid-March, and then it'll be the end of the season, just purely because what's the point in showing you just needless games, if that makes sense? It just seems a bit of a waste of time. We may as well get into the nitty-gritty of the summer and stuff like that. So we're sitting in 15th place at the moment. I don't think we'll go down, but I don't think we're going to get playoffs, so it could be a really boring end to season 1. But obviously the summer window is going to be incredibly tough, considering it doesn't look like I can offer over £4,500 a week for players. So it could be near enough the same core of squad for next season as it was this season, with some younger players in who we're trying to develop. And then we've got to hope at the end of that, the January of that year, we can get some of the players who are out of contract at the end of the season signed up, because Ingleson was another one who came to me. He was, and his Kadamatri is through, and Kadamatri's at the post. Ingleson, was a player that came to us. Oh, I want to explore options at the end of my contract too, and so did Jan Valerie. So we've got Valerie, Ingleson, Charles, 3 massive players for us who have played a lot of football for us, all wanting to explore options at the end of their contract in 2027, to the end of next season. You've got Max Lowe at the end of this season, along with Chalaba. So it's going to be an incredibly different side, probably in 2 years' time, and we'll probably still be in the Championship. Jamal Lowe shoots, and Jamal Lowe hits the post, as Dennis now picks up the loose ball. Max Lowe crosses the ball, and Sturge clears. It comes out to Joe Rules, and it's cleared by Millwall. Ivanovic shouldn't get that, and the highlight's over anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of hope from me that our youth intake is very good. We need young players to come through who we can develop quickly to get in the first team, because we're not going to have a very big squad for next season. And if we do, it's not going to be high in quality either. As Valerie picks up the ball and knocks it inside to Ingleson, who knocks it through to Kadamatri. 1-on with the goalkeeper, and it scores. Bailey Kadamatri's 13th goal of the season to give Sheffield Wednesday the lead against Millwall. 27 minutes on the clock. A really good through ball and a really tidy finish. I've noticed on this year's FM you score a lot more one-on-ones, which is much more realistic than it used to be. So we're sitting in 14th place. I don't know why I keep looking at the top 6. We're 10 points off. We kind of threw it away with that January run where we didn't win in 5. It was a complete jinx. Lots of injuries to key players, like injuries where they'd miss one game and then the squad was never settled again. I know exactly what positions we need for next year. I have a plan in my head of what we need and what type of players I want, but I don't think it will happen purely because of wage budgets. As the corner comes in, Jamal Lowe clears. Negley picks up the ball. Dinora now has the ball, and Negley goes for goal, and the ball flies over Pierce Charles's goal, and that should be half time in the next 10 seconds, as Pierce Charles should launch this long just to get rid of it. No, we've played it short. Valerie now out to Jamal Lowe, and that is half time. It's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Millwall 0. So that's a good first half, and it was actually a really nice goal as well. It's been a pretty boring first half. Things are going well, but I know you're capable of even better. Hopefully we can get a second goal pretty quickly, and hopefully then I can rest the players for the Sheffield United game, which is in midweek, because obviously, as we know, after the Christmas period, we had so many players who were struggling with injuries, like the ones where you get your tight calf, they miss a game, and they were all needing rest as well, which is probably why performances suffered, especially at that point in the year where we couldn't rotate. I changed training so they had rest, but we just couldn't rotate the squad purely because we don't have the players. We're approaching 65 minutes here. We're still leading 1-0. Joe Rawls is going to come off for Fury, who I'm trying to get to play in his more natural position in midfield. And then we're going to bring on Bamford as well to play him behind, as Ingleson will move out to the left-hand side. If the season is dead and buried, I'm going to try and get us going with the system I want to use next year. So hopefully we're fighting for a top 6 and we go on a really good run towards the end of the season. I just can't see it happening though. The top 3 are all level on 64 points. We really need to dampen Sheffield United's parade. We've already done it once this year by drawing with them, but hopefully we can do it again, as there is a throw here on the right hand side with Valerie taking his time, shall we say, over the throw-in. He finds Patrick Bamford now still on the ball, finds Fury. Banan should look left. We haven't looked left yet. Ingleson twisting and turning. Cadamartri again goes for goal, and it's 2-0. 14th goal of the season for Bailey Cadamartri, a man who's really developed since Patrick Bamford came in, and he was worried about losing his slot in the team, and he's really shone in the second sort of middle part of this season, as it looks like we're actually going to win 2-0 and keep a clean sheet. That is beautiful stuff. A nice 2-0 victory. I do like a 2-0 victory. It's like prime Jose ball. Mourinho, isn't it? Prime Jose, as we used to call it. Prime Barclays. Banan is tired, but we need him for the Sheffield derby. We can't not play Banan in that game, regardless if his legs are falling apart. I'll give you a rest for 2 days, but you are needed for the Sheffield United game, which is next up. Right, it's time for Sheffield United then, but before we get into that, I made 2 requests to the board. They rejected to increase the youth level because we have no money, but they did increase the junior coaching budget, so we kind of hope that we can have some more high quality youngsters come through the academy. In terms of team selection for the Sheffield derby, this is going to be a tricky team selection, I think, to be honest. I don't need more defenders on the bench. We probably need more attacking talent. Ingleson's actually got 10 assists now for the season. I think this is going to be the team. We're going to make no changes to the 11 from the team that won the last game. I thought we played really well. Yeah, no changes to the team that beat Millwall. So hopefully we can dampen Sheffield United's spirits as they push for a top 2 spot. We're kind of just playing for pride at the moment. I'll show you the table after. As Danny Ings is playing in the attacking midfield position. That is quite a decent team though, isn't it? But I have faith. R11 is quite good. As the teams come out here, they've got the young Liverpool lad on the left as well, Ogbene on the right. So it's got lots of pace, especially out wide. They've only lost 6 games this season, and we've lost 13. It's just converting some of them losses into draws, and then that we can build upon that. But I don't think we'll be getting out the Championship. Not this year, obviously. And I don't think we'll get out of it next year either. So we've got a couple of years, I think, in this division. And I'm so used to, on Football Manager, getting promoted, having 2 years, and then getting promoted again. And it's really weird to have a team where you're kind of stuck for a year, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think there was any way I was going to get this team promoted unless I played a really broken tactic, and I don't tend to do that. I try to keep tactics as realistic as possible, or how I would want to play. Or if I have to be a bit more, what's the word? I have to be more flexible with how I play, but I wouldn't play like a broken tactic like some people do. As Danny Ings now bursts through, turns and finds the young Liverpool lad, and that's offside. No, it's 1-0 Sheffield United as Tyrese Campbell scores his 7th goal of the season. Must have been our player that tackled the Sheffield United lad. The ball fell to Tyrese Campbell about 2 yards out, and he's just smacked it in. I thought he was offside, but okay. As we've got a throw in on the right hand side with Valerie, he finds Jamal Lowe. Good first touch inside. Jamal Lowe cuts inside, goes for goal, and he's hit the beams on toast. And it goes out for a throw in on the far side. That Tyrese Campbell goal must have been like 0.92 xg, which is why theirs is so high. As we approach we're blitzing through this first half, as we've now got a corner with Joe Rawls to standing over it. He gets the ball into the box. Dijon Bernard doesn't climb, but it's come out to Emmanuel Dennis on the volley, and he's hit the bar. We've hit both the woodwork twice, and the cross is then cleared from Ben Mee. And Tyrese Campbell's now on the break for Sheffield United. Valerie does well to hold him up. So we've hit the bar, we've hit the post. What are we going to hit next? Hopefully the back of the net would be nice. We obviously lost Ethan Horvath from his loan. Forgot to mention that at the start of January. And then we lost Harry Amass as well. So both our loanees have now gone back, as Gus Hamer's free kick is well saved by P.S. Charles, who, again, is still unhappy with me, and he keeps going to the press about it. And that is half-time. It's Sheffield United leading us 1-0. I really want to dampen their parade. As Tyrese Campbell comes off at half-time for Alex Matos, which I presume means Danny Ings will now go up front. As there's a highlight near enough immediately in the second half, and Jamel Lowe picks up the ball, drives forward, gets past his man with ease. Jamel Lowe into the penalty area. Should have just crossed it, but he still has the ball. The attack's kind of slowed down here. Oh, he's delivered a juicy cross to the back post. Cadamartri's had us saved, and Max Lowe shoots as well, and the ball's gone over the bar. A really good opening start to the second half for us. Valerie finds Iorfa. Valerie. Iorfa into Joe Rawls, turns. Ingleson. Jamel Lowe. That's a good ball over the top for Cadamartri. Can he score? He can, of course he can. 15 for the season for Bailey Cadamartri. Near enough 1 in 2 for our number 18. He's definitely having the... Sorry, Jamel Lowe, you're losing the number 9 next year, my friend. We've got a new number 9. As Gus Hamer's free kick's taken short, it's Tyler Bindon, and he's hit the post. That post has now been whacked twice in this game. As Sheffield United look to try and bounce back immediately, and Cadamartri's done well to intercept the ball, and that is the end of that attack. One problem is I really don't trust our bench as much as probably they trust theirs, to be honest. We've approached the hour mark now. It's still 1-1, and I'm pretty happy with that. If we got 2-1 or draws, if Sheffield United were to beat us, they go into second place. So I kind of want to try and keep this at 1-1 or beat them. In terms of substitutions, Max Lowe's booked, so Reece Johnson will come on at left back. Kabaki will come on the left for Emmanuel Dennis. He scored a lot of goals when playing on that left wing, but he's been quiet since winning that Player of the Month. The Player of the Month curse was real against him. Obviously, he's playing with protective gear on at the moment because he gets something to his wrist. As we approach 75 minutes, Patrick Bamford will now come on, as well as Nathaniel Chalobah. He will replace Joe Rawls. If we can hold on, this will be a good point for us. I think it near enough puts us safe if we can hold on, as Louis Barry is now running down the wing, gets the cross in, Valerie clears, Banan completes the clearance. We don't win the second ball though, as our blaster now. The ball is being knocked around in front of our penalty area. Tom Cannon, our blaster, Cannon, round the corner for Martos, who shoots, and the substitute has thundered one in. It's another goal past the 80th minute that we've conceded. And Alex Matos has made it 2-1 to Sheffield United. It seems to be every time I say something that about a table, like the Blackburn game, we then mess it all up. As we are going to the final 5 minutes. It looks like Sheffield United are going to get all 3 points. And they have. That's annoying. It was a good strike, but yeah, it is what it is at the moment. Our bench just is not strong enough for me to bring on and change the games. We're sitting on 43 points. Probably need 7 from our last 13 games to survive. We're 14 points clear of Charlton, who are occupy the first relegation spot, and we're 13 off Leicester. So we are literally slap bang in the middle of the table. Hopefully, we'll have a takeover by the time the next episode rocks around. We just need to pick a game, don't we, in terms of when we are going to come back for the next episode. Unfortunately, there's nothing there that says anything about a takeover happening. So let's have a look at the fixtures. With 13 games to go, I think we come back at the start of April. What we'll probably do Derby. Probably one game in the next episode should be Derby, and then it'll be the final game of the season against West Brom. We'll probably do something like that. We need 2 episodes between now, so it'll be around the end of March, and then the final game of the season. So if you've enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the FM Lowdown channel, and thank you everyone for watching.